Cody Rhodes has an opponent for King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, but do the WWE really know how to book him as champion? AJ Styles and Randy Orton tie up in a King of the Ring qualifier. We see some more mysterious QR codes, and the Bloodline storyline takes a little twist or a little bump in the road as we review that and more on the Smackdown Low Down on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel. SmackDown this week actually started with Cody Rhodes getting his next opponent for the World Championship in the form of Logan Paul. SmackDown started actually with Nick Aldis announcing that. Now, what I'm not sure about coming out of this is Cody was talking about becoming a Grand Slam champion. They have advertised this as a champion versus championship match. But what we don't know is if Logan Paul's US championship is going to be on the line in this match as well. And I think that if it is, I would say the match screams of a DQ finish. I don't see Logan Paul losing the United States Championship. And likewise, I don't see Cody Rhodes losing the championship to Logan Paul in Riyadh or Saudi Arabia in the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. My question is, though, does the WWE know how to book Cody as champion? And we've seen him win at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. He had a great match with AJ Styles at Backlash. He's probably going to have a great match with Logan Paul. But what I'm struggling for here is where is a meaningful feud, a feud that carries. If you look at it, Cody had this big feud with Seth Rollins. He had a big feud with Roman Reigns and a big feud with Brock Lesnar and a sort of big-ish feud with Nakamura, leading up to him beating Roman at WrestleMania. But I don't see a meaningful feud starting with Cody right now. And I think I don't see him having a trilogy of matches with Logan Paul either. And then obviously we've got Money in the Bank and then SummerSlam, which potentially is the return of the tribal chief Roman Reigns. But I think that may be summoned by more of the stuff that's going on with the bloodline more than Cody. Or is Solo Sikoa gearing up for a Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam where we do see a return of at least a tribal chief? I don't know whether The Rock would be back for that. But the question is, though, when will Cody Rhodes get a feud that is more of a trilogy of matches, like a meaningful feud, rather than going? I mean, I would have purposely had AJ Styles in a rematch at King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring if that would have been my choice. Not saying that Logan Paul can't go or can't do it or isn't going to be a good match, but I think, it's something meaningful rather than something different. So what will this match hold? I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media what you think. Will Cody become Cody Two Belts? Should that match be a title match? Will Logan Paul be Logan Two Belts? I really don't see that whatsoever. But I don't see Logan losing the US title. And also, when will the WWE or does the WWE know how to book Cody Rhodes as champion? I tell you what, I will put that as a question on our X, on our HTT Buckle, and leave it up to you to answer when we do the Raw review this week. I will tell you what you guys picked as an answer to that question. The King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament started. Now, the first one on there was Nia Jax and Naomi. Now, what I would say about these matches this week is I think there was an element of predictability, or at least a few of them. Randy and AJ Styles, not so much, but the rest of the matches kind of felt predictable as the way they were going to go. Before we get into the Queen of the Ring qualifying match between Naomi and Nia Jax, during that match, the QR code flashed up again. The imminent return of the Y6, or at least Uncle Howdy and the team. Now, the interesting bit about this one was the word red. Now, there was a bit with Bray Wyatt mentioning that I think he was the color red in the world for the black. And also, potentially here, Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan goes by the name of Eric Redbeard on the indies. So in this actual QR code, when you go, there was a video. It starts with the then, now, forever thing, and it goes on about goes into about how he let us survive, and they're in a garden. There was a red mentioned there. So it's seeming as this one, and this video was longer than the rest. So we're assuming that very, very soon we are going to find out who it is. We kind of know it's going to be Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas. Who's in the group? We know Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy are the names that have been touted. I think Alexa Bliss hasn't now been touted as a member of that group unless it's a throw off so that you don't think she's going to be there, and then she is. My views on this are that, without being disrespectful to any one of those, apart from Alexa Bliss, of course, the group screams the word mid card. And I'm not, but I think that's a good thing when I say that, because what I don't want is for them to bring Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas back and be given everything that Bray Wyatt was meant to get, potential world championship and all that stuff. I don't think that would be right for them to give that to Bo Dallas. And you look at his career in WWE, it was never any more than mid card. So for me, I don't want them to do what they kind of did with Rey Mysterio. When Eddie Guerrero passed away, they gave Rey Mysterio the big push, the title. It was all for Eddie, and I kind of want them not to do that. And this is, again, not being disrespectful to not being disrespectful to Bray Wyatt or the family, but I do think that it would be far more better if they come in and done their own thing. And could there be a potential main eventer in there? Sure. But I don't think giving them the main event push or giving Uncle Howdy a shot at the championship or a shot at Cody Rhodes or whoever whatever brand they go on. I mean, the QR codes have been flashing up on every single brand, so we don't even know what brand they're going to be on. And more to the point, we don't know who they are going to target first when they come in, and that's going to be the important thing. Will they go for an LA Knight potentially on SmackDown, on Raw? Do they go for main event Jey Uso if it's Raw? I don't, that's the interesting thing. And it will be interesting, that first person that they target is going to be key to where that group is positioned on any show. And it will give us an interesting point as to where they're going to be placing that Uncle Howdy group. And again, I will ask you the question and I'll raise it as a question on our social media: is where do you see Uncle Howdy's group in the WWE being positioned? The top card, the mid card, or the bottom card? That's another question, and we will do that. And again, when the Raw review comes back next week, we will give you the answers to that question and to see who they're going to target first. I'll give you the option and you chance to answer that on social media. 3 questions so far going to be put to you guys on social media over the weekend for you guys to answer, and please do so. I will read the results out on the Raw review. Nia Jax did beat Naomi in the first round of the Queen of the Ring match. Not surprised at all, to be honest. Naomi come back, and I always say, if you return between the Rumble and WrestleMania, that is just such a hard place to be put, because creative doesn't really have anything for you at that stage. You are, unless you're a Cody that comes back in the big match at WrestleMania, you are kind of put in an impossible position a little bit. So I think Naomi is still trying to find the feet, find where to go. Obviously, Bayley's the champion. She did have the championship match against Bayley over at Backlash along with Tiffany Stratton, which she lost, and Naomi took the fall, which I always thought that was going to be the way that they were going to position her in that match, as the fall girl during it. So Naomi is in a slightly difficult position of coming back into the WWE at the wrong time, really. Nothing wrong with her coming back. It's just a timing and shuffling around the draft, WrestleMania. So pretty much the wrong time here. So losing to Nia Jax really isn't going to be a bad thing. Nia Jax will probably go far in the tournament. I need to see the tournament brackets to see what's next for her. But yeah, not surprised with that. Another one that's going to have the King of the Ring match a bit later, I actually was straight away next, was Carmelo Hayes against the returning Baron Corbin. Carmelo Hayes was the first pick for SmackDown. Baron Corbin come in, and he's had a renaissance in NXT. Was I surprised that he got picked to come back? No. Was I surprised that he wasn't on the same brand as Braun Breaker? Yes, because they had a team in NXT. They were the Lone Wolves, I believe, in NXT. Well, I think they still may be the NXT Tag Champions. I don't know. So to have Baron come back was great. He's been an unsung hero NXT. To be honest, he's been an unsung hero in the WWE. A lot of people hate him. But to be fair, he's done a lot right with his character as well. But he did take on Carmelo Hayes in the first round of King of the Ring. And again, another great match. Carmelo Hayes picks up the victory. Was I surprised that Carmelo Hayes picked it up? No, I wasn't. I kind of had the feeling that that was the case. But again, just having that kind of two newbies against each other, one of them was always gonna, lose. And you looked at that, and I kind of knew where that was going with that one. But Baron Corbin gave a great effort, and again, he is very much, I would say, an unsung hero in the WWE. What does the future hold on Baron Corbin on the blue brand? We will find out for certain and for sure as we move along towards Money in the Bank. Does he qualify for that, perhaps, going forward? But Carmelo Hayes, another impressive victory for the young, brash, new Carmelo Hayes, shall we say, as well. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what WWE do with Carmelo Hayes this year. Now, we come back to the Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill and Piper Niven. Again, I knew where this match was going. Jade Cargill, they're making her a star. So to have her against Piper Niven wasn't really, you kind of knew where it was going. Good outing by Jade, and she did hit Jaded on Piper Niven, which is very, very impressive indeed. She did hit, she's getting better, Jade. And no matter what people think of her, WWE want her to be a star. I just have a feeling I know where they're going with the King and the Queen of the Ring, and we'll get to my pick in a second. Well, not my pick, but we'll get to where I think they're going with it in a minute. Again, I haven't seen the brackets for the women's King and the Queen of the Ring, so perhaps I may be wrong with what I'm going to say, unless they do a SmackDown final and a Raw final, and then the Raw and the SmackDown one meet in the actual finals. I don't know. So if not, I think I know where they're going with the semi-final, which we'll get to. But Jade picks up a very impressive victory against Piper Niven and looking even better as we go on. Nakamura had a promo, and he was going to destroy against anyone who stands against him, because he reckons that everything on SmackDown is going to change and will never be the same again. Look, I've been a massive fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. I really have been a big fan of Nakamura. I don't think WWE have used him correctly at all, if I'm being completely honest with you. We saw the best of Nakamura recently on his recent run on Raw, where he came up against Seth Rollins, and then he came up against Cody Rhodes unsuccessfully on both occasions against both men. But Nakamura, for me, on SmackDown, who is he targeting? Again, I say the words LA Knight. It does seem as if a lot of people that will always go for the young, like an LA Knight or somebody like that. But who is Nakamura targeting? Will we see Nakamura go back for Cody Rhodes? Is that story finished with Nakamura and Cody? I don't know. It kind of did on Raw, but obviously this is a fresh show on SmackDown. But I really hope Nakamura gets the opportunities on SmackDown. He's really been starved of it. I don't think they have used Nakamura correctly at all since NXT, arguably, if I'm being completely transparent. I think they've missed a lot of a big opportunity there with Nakamura, and perhaps on SmackDown, we'll finally see it. It's kind of the last chance saloon, really. Or is Nakamura just happy picking up the check? They're not really going to release him. Maybe the contract that he signed, maybe he'd leave at the end of it. But Nakamura, for me, is one to watch on SmackDown along with Carmelo Hayes. Going back to what I was talking about with the Queen of the Ring, the match next was Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. Now, again, you kind of know who was going to win this. I don't think there was beyond any stretch of the imagination, did I think anyone other than Bianca Belair would win this match. And she did hit the KOD as Candice LeRae was going for a springboard moonsault. My prediction is either in the semis or the final, depending on brackets. Jade Cargill will be going one-on-one with her tag team teammate, Bianca Belair. Those two are the tag team champions currently in the women's division. But I can really see them edging towards that match. I think that's the money match that WWE are looking for it may kind of happen in the Queen of the Ring, but I think eventually going maybe WrestleMania 41 or somewhere along the line, that is their money match that they're looking for with Bianca and Jade. I certainly would be looking forward to it myself in the future, but I do think they're going to come up at King of the Ring. And my prediction at that point is it'd be interesting, actually. I don't actually know. Because I can see Jade Cargill winning the Queen of the Ring. I see Gunter winning the men's and Jade winning the women's. That's how I see it. How does she beat Bianca Belair? I don't know. But I think that's the course that WWE are looking to take with those two, either the semi-finals or the finals. It may be the finals of that brand, because I think it's branded. I'm sure the Raw side's got it and the SmackDown side's got it, and then they meet in the finals. So it'll be a Raw and SmackDown final. That's where I see it. And I think the winner of Jade and Bianca goes on to win the Queen of the Ring. However, I will throw a little curveball in this. And I will say the word Charlotte Flair. You can't have a Queen of the Ring without the Queen of WWE. I wonder if she tries to get herself inserted into the tournament to win it in Saudi Arabia, or if there's an injury, and we'll go on about an injury in a very, very quick second. We'll talk about that a bit more. But I just wonder if the Queen Charlotte Flair interjects herself into the Queen of the tournament. We will find out. Bloodline next. Now, we heard last week from Paul Heyman that Roman Reigns, he hadn't spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania. That was the news that he gave us last week. So all of this stuff that's been happening has not been from the tribal chief, or so we thought. The twist in this is that Solo Sikoa has said he has spoken to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns has given this all the okay. Or at least Solo Sikoa said that he has spoken to the tribal chief, I believe. So that's the thing. That's the interesting. Well, Solo Sikoa did say that he'd spoken to Roman Reigns, at least. I don't know. I still think perhaps he's hinting at The Rock here, and The Rock's having, but basically, anyway, Solo Sikoa has said that Roman, or the tribal chief, has said that he is in charge of the bloodline and he calls the shots, and he will, and Paul Heyman will be his wise man. I am not so sure about this whatsoever. I seriously think here that he's not spoken to Roman Reigns, but he has spoken to the tribal chief, that being the final boss, The Rock. That's where I see it going. But Paul Heyman did give Solo the hug like he asked. I'm just interested to see that. I don't think that he's talking to Roman Reigns. That's how I see it. But we will see. It's going to be another interesting one. Now, quote unquote injuries brings me to the Tama Tonga match. Now, Tama Tonga was originally supposed to go against Bobby Lashley in the King of the Ring tournament. Nick Aldis come out and said Bobby Lashley is not medically cleared and he would be replaced by Angelo Dawkins in this. And I think, well, I've not heard that Bobby Lashley is actually injured. So I kind of think this is a storyline thing. The reason why I say that is obviously Bobby Lashley's the leader of his group. Tama Tonga has only just come into the WWE. A loss to either one of them damages it quite severely. A loss to Tama Tonga in his first singles match in the WWE would be damaging. If he were to beat Bobby Lashley, it would kind of damage Bobby Lashley because his group with the Street Profits and BFAB really hasn't got off the ground. Mainly because the bloodline has taken center stage on SmackDown, and it's been really difficult to move a faction up. It certainly didn't work with Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, the Final Testament. They moved over to Raw. And Bobby Lashley just hasn't got this group off the ground. They tried to be heel. It didn't work. They're now face. It's not working. Why is it not working? And I think it's got a lot to do with the bloodline. But if Tama Tonga was to come and beat Bobby Lashley, the head of the group, it would do big damage to Bobby Lashley. And if likewise, if Bobby Lashley had come on and beaten Tama Tonga, it would have done really big, damage to Tonga. So to have him against Angelo, Dawkins makes sense. Dawkins can lose it. It also, with Montez Ford not taking the loss as well, that's the other big thing. Because if it would have been me, I would have put Montez Ford in there with Tonga. But then you have the same thing. They're trying to protect Montez Ford, in my opinion, from a massive singles run that he's going to have at some point. There's no doubt in my mind that Montez Ford's a star in the making, and it's how the WWE get him to the single point where he can do a singles run. So Dawkins for me was a logical choice, and I don't think Bobby Lashley would have worked in that at all, my personal opinion. So I think probably well done on that. They are going to have the contract signing next week on SmackDown with Cody and Logan. They are also going to have the quarterfinal matches of the King and the Queen of the Ring. Blair Davenport done a little promo. We'll get more about her when she come in. And the final match was the main event, and it was a fantastic main event. Randy Orton, AJ Styles. And this was the only King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring match that I didn't really know which way he was going to go. Like I said earlier, the rest of them were quite predictable. This one I couldn't predict. And quite frankly, I would have been happy with either one of these guys picking up the win. Eventually, it was Randy Orton that picked up the victory in this match, and he went on and he qualifies for the next round. And I suppose the only thing I would say, I mean, they both come off of losses at Backlash. Did it really hurt any one of these two with this? I don't know. AJ Styles has lost quite a few. Randy Orton has kind of won a lot of matches. I think Backlash may have been one of his first defeats. Obviously, WrestleMania with the Kevin Owens and Logan Paul triple threat. So it was interesting to see where this match was going to go. I am happy, um, that Randy Orton won. Where does he go? Does he take on Tama Tonga eventually? Again, I need to see the brackets. Apologies. I need to get a look at the brackets to find out. I'll do that before the Raw review so I know what's going on for SmackDown as well as Raw. SmackDown was really good. Look, there's a lot of in-ring on SmackDown this week, which was really, really good to see. I enjoyed it. I do enjoy it when there's more. Raw had a lot of in-ring as well because of the Queen of the Ring tournament and King of the Ring tournament. SmackDown as well because of that. So I really enjoyed all of the action this week on WWE. It was nice that it was nice little storyline developments here and there as well. I just don't know if they know how to really put Cody Rhodes as champion. It feels like they've lost that bit already with Cody. And they don't quite know what to do. And that's going to be, obviously, as I said, one of the questions that we're going to pit to you. Does the WWE know how to book Cody as champion? Who will Uncle Howdy's faction target first? And where will it position in the WWE? I will leave that for you guys to decide. We'll be back tomorrow with an AEW recap. A good friend of ours will be back on the show, Mr. Gary Joe from the Follow the Revolution. Facebook was Honor the Elite and changed it to Follow the Revolution. He will be coming back to talk all things AEW tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. But guys, keep a lookout on socials. Our Twitter has exploded with followers. Thank you to all. We're up to over 2,000 followers now. Thank you all for that. The YouTube watch hours is on course for a record number of watch hours this month. So please, whatever videos you're watching, hopefully it's us. There is loads of a catalog on there for you. Buff Bagwell, Diamond Dallas Page, Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo. Take a look at TNA as well. The System, Jake Summit, The Decay, lots of interviews on there for you to feast your eyes on. But so far this month, if it keeps tracking the way it's tracking, it will be a record month of view hours for us since the podcast went on YouTube 1 year ago. So a huge thank you for you all for doing that. But guys, this has been the Smackdown Lowdown on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with an AEW recap, so do not miss that. But until then, everybody buckle down and stay safe.